Hi, this is Lori from the Swamp School. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to be a wetland scientist or more generally an environmental scientist? Today I'm going to try to explain what these professions are, what your job responsibilities would be, and the education you would need to fulfill these important green professions. First, I'd like to explain what we do at the Swamp School. Many students come to us for certification to delineate or define wetland boundaries, and to learn more about how to protect and restore wetlands. So why are wetlands so important? Wetlands are like environmental sponges. Their soils distribute heavy rains and prevent flooding. And because they prevent flooding, they also prevent erosion. Wetland soil also cleans the water that passes through them because the sediment and pollution will attach to the soil as opposed to flowing into our streams, rivers, ponds, or estuaries. Wetlands are also important habitats for many animals and plants. Migrating birds, endangered and threatened species use wetlands for shelter and food. Because of these important attributes, wetlands are a valuable ecosystem to us and to the other living organisms that call wetlands their home. In the past, wetlands were thought to be useless and just a breeding ground for flies, mosquitoes, and dragonflies. We had no hesitation filling and building over wetlands. We produced farms, houses, factories, shopping malls, etc. Over the past 100 years, the number of wetlands in the U.S. has diminished by approximately 50%. Now that we know the importance of wetlands, we understand how important it is to protect them. Government agencies are now recognizing the importance of wetlands with respect to global climate change. By studying wetlands, we're learning effective strategies for minimizing and adapting to the impacts of climate change. The question is, how would you like to have a profession that is helping our Earth and everything that lives here? The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is expecting employment to grow in these fields at 11% through 2026, which is faster than the average for all occupations. Are you up for the job? Do you like the outdoors? Would you like it if your profession took you outdoors? Would you like it if you could analyze soils, identify plants, and even wade in the water? There are many professions that allow you to do just that. Today they call them green careers. Let me explain some of these jobs. A typical description of a wetland scientist is someone who is comfortable in the wilderness, able to hike in rough conditions with equipment, identify vegetation, collect soil samples, track aquatic wildlife and migratory birds, survey land, monitor chemical attributes of the wetland, and produce reports for the government and maybe even your clients. Some other skills to help you succeed are excellent verbal communication, listening, and writing skills, as well as critical thinking skills to solve problems, and reading comprehension skills. A proficiency in using geographic information systems and working with computer modeling applications is also a skill that would put you at an advantage over another candidate for the job who doesn't have this skill. So who hires wetland scientists? First, on average, some 23% of wetland scientists are hired by scientific and technical consulting services. 22% work for state government, 13% work in local government, 6% for federal government organizations like the Environmental Protection Agency or the National Park Services. Another 10% are hired by engineering services, where the scientists will work alongside construction professionals, architects, and civil engineers to ensure environmental protection standards are followed. So what kind of education would you need to enter a green career? Most jobs require a minimum of a bachelor's degree in a science field. This could include, but is not limited to, wetland science, environmental science, biology, ecology, hydrology, or soil chemistry. In addition to the educational requirements, most employers would also expect you to have an ability to multitask, to plan and execute projects and reports, the ability to work independently, and the ability to work with others. Employers might expect you to be highly motivated and work well in a team environment. A proficiency with computer programs would also be expected. So what job titles would you look for when wanting to work in this field? These might include a wetland biologist, wetland scientist, wetland specialist, hydrologist, conservationist, or an environmental technician, just to name a few. There are many types of environmental positions that work outdoors, but there are just as many that work indoors, like lobbyists who would inform the public about wetlands and their importance, or even an environmental lawyer. The last question I'm sure you're wondering about is the salary for these professions. Of course, depending on the education and responsibility of the jobs, the salaries will vary. I've seen salary predictions of up to $50,000 per year to begin. That's not too shabby for someone fresh out of college. To summarize what we talked about, we first talked about the importance of wetlands. They're capable of storing and cleaning drinking water, removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, preventing flooding, and offering habitats for endangered plants, animals, birds, etc. We talked about the type of person a wetland scientist might be. However, there's no cookie-cutter mold for what a wetland or environmental scientist might be. We said that a lot of wetland scientists are hired by the government to ensure that wetlands are being protected. A bachelor's degree in an environmental science plus a good working attitude would be enough to get you a beginning job in a green career. The salary is pretty good too. And to think, you're helping to make life better for the whole world, now and in many years to come. What could be better? Have a great day.